We've been seeing video games being adapted for film and TV for a while now, and there seems to be no sign of that stopping. Some of these adaptations have been good, others have left a lot to be desired, and few I would call great. But I do think that there is potential for another IP to enter that great status. Valve's Deadlock. A game that is unfinished, still in active development, not publicly available, and a storyline that can be ignored as the game focuses on the player experience. And yet, the world building and character writing is so detailed that I have to ask, are they setting up for something bigger? Deadlock takes place in a fictional rendition of 1940s New York, where demons, vampires, werewolves, and cosmic entities exist. Much of this being a homage to classic film and literature. The game itself is centered around two Eldritch gods, the Archmother and the Hidden King, who are recruiting a team to compete in what they call the Ritual, a competition where one of the two gods is to be destroyed by the opposing team. If successful, the winning god will grant their recruits a wish. But for those who are familiar with stories regarding cosmic horrors and Cthulhian deities, you know that these gods are not to be trusted.
You're a man of science, Professor. Do you think what they say about the patrons is true?
Well, it's clear that the patrons are beings of immense power. Whether or not they actually intend to fulfill their end of the bargain is less about science and more about their nature. On the plus side, we're about to find out.
But perhaps for this adaptation, we want to ignore the Ritual, just like how Arcane ignored the League of Legends, also known as Summoner's Rift. I do think this is a viable option, as the cast of playable characters have their own stories to tell, and one of them will have to be our protagonist.
Only you were strong enough to bear the tome's weight, Detective Abrams. And soon you will be free of it.
Abrams works as a detective in New York, with his current case regarding a tome of unknown origin. It was left on his desk at work with a note reading, "Do not let them have it." Ever since this tome fell into his possession, Abrams' home and office have been vandalized and his car was also set on fire. With all these disruptions to his daily life, Abrams only wants to destroy the tome, despite the note implying that it needs protecting. Things only get more eerie when the people surrounding him seem to know more about the book than he does.
Abrams, that tome is radiating malice.
You should have handed over the tome the moment it came into your possession.
That tome is pulling you into deep waters, Detective. Be careful.
Don't know if I need life advice from somebody who was caught and executed.
Yet here I stand. Perhaps you should consider that I know what I'm talking about.
Abrams' journey would be a supernatural noir, as he finds himself at a crossroad where he can learn about the tome and why everyone else is so interested in it, or he can get rid of it without asking any questions. A recurring theme in Lovecraftian stories is the idea of ignorance is bliss, or too much knowledge can be a detriment. Knowledge that could potentially lead to insanity. Regardless of his decisions, a question that will remain is, who entrusted the tome to Abrams and why?
Your parents do not define you, Pocket. It's time to forge your own path.
Aaron Pocket Fairfax would be my personal choice for a main character, due to his connections with other characters being more personal. Pocket was born into wealth, as his family owns and operates a weapons manufacturing company. However, Pocket is a pacifist whose worldview does not align with his father, the CEO, nor the playable character McGinnis, who is the lead engineer.
Do I love working for Fairfax Industries? No. Does it pay a small fortune? Yes. How do I sleep at night? Like a baby.
The highlight of Pocket's story is the supposed wedding day. Aaron had an arranged marriage with the fashion designer Mina Ha. However, a few days before the wedding ceremony, there was an assassination attempt on Pocket by Calico. Pocket doesn't miraculously survive, but goes into hiding and is presumed dead. We don't know how intimate the relationship between Pocket and Mina is, as the two characters do not have any voice lines with each other during the time of me writing this. But we can guess that it was not the romance story we would have wanted it to be, as Mina only agreed to marry Aaron to gain the wealth and status by marrying into the Fairfax family. With the wedding cancelled, that life was not granted, and Mina's response to these events was her agreement to be turned into a vampire, where she will have an eternity to gain whatever she desires. Meanwhile, Pocket is in hiding within the New York City sewers and needs to make a choice. Walk away from everything or go back and try to make the family business his own, even if it means risking his life. The biggest question in Pocket's story is who hired the assassin Calico and why? Fans do speculate that Aaron's own father arranged the assassination so that he could keep the company for himself rather than letting an heir inherit it. There are two voice lines in the game that might support this theory. The first is with Dynamo, who is Pocket's grandfather, and for all that we know, he is more of a father figure for Pocket than Pocket's biological father.
You should have told me you were alive, Aaron.
Why's that?
I'm your godfather. I would have helped you.
I'm sorry, I wasn't sure who I could trust.
Well, at least I'm here now.
The second comes from the Doorman, who mocks Pocket and seems to know more than we do.
Aaron, your mother and father love you and would be glad to see you come home. Sorry, I tried, but I couldn't keep a straight face. You have no home.
Speaking of...
I see your curiosity got the best of you, Doorman. Whatever your reasons, the Hidden King is grateful for your aid.
Do not be fooled by his appearance. The Doorman is an Eldritch god in disguise, an entity who once tormented mortal kind for pleasure, now works in the hospitality industry. But this drastic shift was not because of some change of heart.
You like working at the hotel?
I do. It's quite rewarding.
Catering to rich people is rewarding.
Observing humanity is.
A TV series centered around the Doorman would likely fall into the psychological thriller genre, with a narrative structure being something similar to Death Parade. Every episode introduces a different character and their current position in life. Holiday's desire for revenge, Infernus's financial troubles, Silver being bad at her job. While this kind of a story has far less action compared to the game that it's based on, I do think that we could get some great dialogue as the Doorman, who has lived for eons, gives us a psychological breakdown of the human condition. Honestly, every character in this cast could be a protagonist with a different genre attached to them. the gang wars between Wraith and Yamato, Victor's identity crisis sending him onto a journey of self-discovery, the Venator waging a religious crusade against both the Archmother and the Hidden King. There is the convict who survived the electric chair, and then there's Rem, who would be going on some light-hearted adventures throughout New York. But there is one big problem with this pipe dream, and that is Valve themselves. Valve has dabbled into the TV space twice already. The first time was when Adult Swim approached Valve and pitched the idea of a Team Fortress 2 TV series. Valve agreed to this project, but it would be ultimately cancelled as the game studio kept missing deadlines. The story is that it took 2 years to make a single episode, which would become Expiration Date. This is the video that gave us the now famous
This is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
Valve must have learned from this experience, because the second attempt at adapting one of their IPs for television was Dota Dragon's Blood, based on the Dota 2 video game. Honestly, I forgot this even existed, and I think the two contributing factors are that Arcane overshadowed Dota Dragon's Blood as both projects were released in 2021. The second reason was the attempt at appealing to the anime audience, where the anime medium already has a lot of competition. If Valve did agree for a film or TV adaptation of Deadlock, there is a chance that they would do something similar to Dota Dragon's Blood, and have the project animated with a new art style. But I personally think that the project would be at its best if it was animated inside of the Source engine, just like how Expiration Date was. One of Valve's strengths is being able to create trailers and cinematics that look identical to their games, because the Source engine, in a way, is a tool for creating both video games and 3D animation. But I need to remind myself that this is all wishful thinking and may not happen. So in the meantime, I will be waiting for the Bloodborne movie.